Let's
Hi.
start over.
Welcome to episode 7 of Catan. We talk about content creation. Wow, we're already
Wow.
at episode 7. I
That's
can't
so-
believe it.
That's a big
Woo.
number.
Lucky-
We didn't already say this.
Episode 7. My name is Ophi or Ophelia or Meat Mommy, whatever name you want to choose. It's me. And I'm here with my co-host FunkyHQ and our lovely special guest Zaytri. Zaytri, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Zaytri, pronouns she, her. I call myself a glitch witch because I pretty much magically make code happen. Yeah, I'm a streamer, but like I'm also a software engineer, and I use those skills together to like make cool stuff for stream. Including the chat bubbles that you can see over there. Yeah. Yeah.
For audio listeners, there are chat bubbles on the screen.
And they are so cool.
They are cool.
They are so cool, and they match the aesthetics of the stream. But today we are going to play another game of Catan or Catan, whatever you'd like to call it.
I still don't know how to say it.
probably pronounce it wrong every single time. That's probably never going to change. Everybody has to ready up. So if you check the ready up check mark, and then I'll hit start game, it should be fairly not necessarily slow pace, but it's not the speediest pace either. And yeah.
On average,
So-
we usually get 2 games in.
Unless
I
we're
feel
playing
like-
against like Chad Liente, who beat us in 20 minutes without
It was
breaking
like
a
3
sweat.
games.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was so fast.
Well,
Go.
when she said that she really liked Catan, it was
It was no joke.
I was like, oh yeah, we like Catan too. And then she's like, no, I like Catan.
I really like Catan.
I'm gonna beat you.
In front of all your friends.
In
It's going to
front
be
of
recorded
everyone.
for
It's
everybody
gonna-
to see.
It's gonna be embarrassing for you. No, it was a good time. We had a good time.
So a question that I want to get out of the way immediately, because I'm just very curious. Where do you get all of your awesome shirts from? Because your glasses are super cute, and then you always have really cool shirts with really cool patterns on them, and I love them. And I just want to know where you get them.
Yeah, I get most of them from like the one place, crowlines.net, actually. Like this is one of the shirts from them. It's got little cats and stars and stuff and little clouds. And this is part of the Pride collection that they have. So this is like the non-binary colors. So yeah, Crowlines has such good stuff.
I'll have to check them out. I'll have to bug you for a link, because I really always like the tops and the patterns that you have, and I'm just like, where are you getting those from?
Yeah, the
Which
first one
one?
I found, he was selling a this shirt that had like watermelon and like ice pops and stuff. It was like perfect for like a summer thing, and I love watermelon and whole aesthetic, so I had to get it. And then like I've been following his shirt designs ever since, and they're also super comfy to wear. So I just buy like all of them.
Are they usually like short sleeve, or is it like the same like type of top every time, or is it like here's a series of like apparel with this particular pattern on it?
It's usually just like the short sleeve shirts.
Nice.
Yeah. And this one in particular has little star buttons, which are
Aw.
pretty
That's cute.
fun.
I like
But
that.
they're also difficult to actually use as buttons, but that's fine because I always wear an open shirt
Hey,
anyway.
there you go. Problem solving. Oh, I'm going last, so I have to pick twice, and that I don't like doing that. It's so
You better
much-
not pick my spot.
Well, now I'm going to, whatever that is.
I'm not gonna tell you.
I'm gonna
what it is.
box you in.
Please don't.
Gosh, where
Oh,
do I go next?
this is tough. I am gonna go.
Speaking of watermelons,
Mhm.
I didn't know that they made replacement ear cups for that headset that you have.
Oh
which
yeah,
it's the new Logitech headset, right?
yeah.
I love it.
So yeah, I got them. Like normally they have like the white ear cuffs, but they also have them in pink and green. And I was just like, those are the two colors I need. So it's perfect.
They're the ones I need. I love that. And then you've sort of color coordinated with your keyboard as well.
Yes.
You can't get out of here without talking about your keyboard.
He was so pumped when you posted a picture of your keyboard, and I was like, "Oh no!" And then
it's a Kinesis gaming one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I sent him the interview questions, and he's like, "I'm gonna ask about that keyboard," and I was like, "Okay."
What do you want to know about it?
How do you like split layout?
It's really good, honestly. Like after having like this split keyboard, along with like the these risers and stuff, I can't go back to a normal keyboard. Like I've tried. Like I've gone back to a different keyboard after this, and it's just it doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel good anymore.
I feel that. So I type on normal keyboards most of the time, but since I've gotten technically it's an Arisu layout, but they call it an Alice layout. Arisu just means that it's got arrow keys, but it's a split layout, but it's still like I can't move them independently like you can with your split board. It's helped me type better. Like I'm better at typing now. I've really like as a person that likes keyboards, I've really just aspired to be like okay at typing because I've always been like pretty terrible, and this has made it easier, made it better. I'll still like reach for things that are not there, but my brain's like, okay, don't do that. Use your other hand.
Since like these are like so far apart, like I didn't know for the longest time that I was like using the wrong hands for like the wrong sides of the keyboard, and I started getting used to this. I'm like, wait, these keys are not where I thought they would be. So it'll take a while to get used to, but like now I'm used to it, and it's pretty great. I also just like the fact that it's split and like I can like move them wherever I want.
Right.
I can just have stuff in between. So right now I have my phone in between.
Yep.
Usually, like if I have food or something, I just put my plate in between and stuff. Or like I have my like work laptop in between them while I do stuff on like my main screens. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, and it's definitely more ergonomic too. You can make it, you can do whatever you want with it, and with the right side of the board, you could just put that aside, and if you're gaming or something and you just need the left side of the keyboard, like it seems really, really cool.
Yeah, especially like an FPS game, like you only really need the left side of the keyboard anyway, and then just like put your mouse right next to it, so like everything's a bit closer together.
That makes me think about, so Funky builds custom keyboards for folks, and the thing that they always say to him is with custom keyboards, they don't usually have a numpad. And they're always like, well, I need the numpad. And I'm thinking in my head, like, what if you would really freak people out if you're like, you only get the left side of the keyboard. You don't even get the right side. You get half. You get only the left side. Like, I just imagine those people just panicking. Like, you were upset about the numpad. Imagine just half of the board is gone now.
Yeah, I actually like this keyboard doesn't have a numpad on it. But like I just get like a little small external numpad for whenever I need it. When I'm just like doing like
not everybody's a
usually
freaking
Excel.
Yeah.
That's all I use it for.
An accountant, like not everybody needs a full numpad, and people are just so used to having it.
It's my comfort numpad.
Yeah, I think some people sometimes use the numpad as like game keys or whatever.
Yeah, sometimes you can emote
like
with them. Or
this does have like game keys on the side that you can program.
Yeah, programmable keys or macro keys.
Yeah,
which I had a Corsair keyboard. I don't know. No, that was an old Logitech board. Back way before I even cared about keyboards, and it had macro keys on it, and I never used them. I didn't have any use for them.
I haven't used any of these. They're just there.
They're just there. Yeah. Well, you could. Use
I do.
Them.
I have the option.
Yeah, I like options.
I didn't have any options during my turn. Speaking of options, no, I had no options. Nobody rolled any good die. Who's
That's true.
What?
What?
All right.
You just
Well-
keep okay. I don't have a lot.
She's cutting me off from my resources that I was gonna go for.
Well,
So, audio listeners, imagine this. Imagine you have this wide open field and you put 2 houses on either side of that field, and you're like, eventually, I'm going to join these 2 things. And then Zaytri's like, no, I'm going to build my settlement in the middle of your 2 settlements. And now you've lost the game.
No, you guys have all of the control over the brick, which is a huge misstep on my turn. But that's,
For now.
that's all right.
You're going to force me to say a phrase that I have to say every time. And I don't want to.
Why not?
Because it's happened every time.
Okay.
We're all bricked up. We're going to be all bricked up.
You guys are all bricked up and I'm not.
I learned that
That's so
phrase
funny.
on episode 1 of the
Yeah,
podcast
'cause
because
you said-
I was saying it, but I didn't know. I thought it meant something else. And I kept saying it, and Funky was like, that's not what that
You can't,
means.
I mean, you can say that. It's just it's
I'm
not what you
just-
think it means.
I'm just a sweet summer child, and I don't know. I'm new to the internet. It's new for me.
Which is just endearing and funny, so it's okay.
I'm glad it's endearing. I got that going for me.
I guess I could ask a question. What's the story behind your username?
Oh yeah. It's I don't like. It doesn't actually mean anything. Firstly,
fine.
no, I think like back when I was like trying to think of a username, like years ago, like maybe when I was like in middle school or something. I was obsessed with the letter Z, so it had to be something that started with a Z. And I was just like thinking of just random like combinations of syllables and stuff in my head. I was just like, let's go with Zaytri, spelled Zayte. And I just kind of went with that for a while. The only unfortunate part was that wasn't too unique. So like it just kept getting and taking stuff on the internet. I'm just like, I need something else. So then I was just like,
I need 2 more letters, 2 more unique letters.
well, yeah. So like after that, I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just add an X on the end to make it sound cooler, I guess.
Oh.
So we have Zaytex, and then afterwards, I realized that kind of just like rhymed with like latex and stuff, and I'm just like, maybe not.
Maybe not.
But I like went with it for so long. I just didn't realize that at the time. So it's just like I gotta change it again. So I just like added another letter in there, and it became Zaytrex, right? And that one was pretty solid for quite a while.
That sounds like a Power Ranger, like a Power Ranger enemy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of spelled like Zay and then T-Rex.
Yeah,
So, yeah, which I didn't necessarily think about that until later. I was just like, eh.
People just
but then
calling you
after,
T-Rex all the time, like
no, they would just call me Zay, to be honest.
yeah.
Which was great. I liked that. But then I was just like, I just want to change it up a bit. So then I just replaced the E with an I, Zaytrix. And that was just fun, just because trickster stuff. I don't know. It was just kind of neat. And then afterwards, like before I started getting into like being a streamer and stuff, I was just like, I want to get rid of the X again and just go with Zaytri, because that just kind of like it makes it a little more feminine, and I was like kind of like getting into like thinking of like myself as non-binary and stuff, so it was just kind of like perfect for that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think
So that's the journey.
That's the journey.
I wasn't gonna ask that question because I remember on Twitter about a month ago somebody had said something about usernames and you had responded, Zaytri, with I just think it sounded cool, and then I wrote underneath of it, scratches off question for podcast.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, yeah, it also just sounds great. So
It does sound
you didn't
good.
scratch it off in the Google Doc, so
You're right. And some people some people read those
I
Google
do.
Docs. Yeah. Not everybody does.
I read all of them, unlike a certain egg.
I wasn't
Wow,
gonna
okay.
name names, but like
Just get called out.
I did see the entire VOD, so you know.
Yeah, it's up there for people to see.
she says, I'm trying to fold my clothes in peace.
Too bad.
Nice. Real nice.
But yeah, it's great because it's unique. No one really takes it, other than the fact that on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram it's taken. So I have to be I'm Zaytri instead.
Yeah,
It's
but like it's not
me.
I see that happen a lot.
yeah. Yeah. And it's like I think it's like pretty easy to pronounce in like most languages. So that's another plus.
Yeah,
Which is great because like my chat bubbles have been like extended into like many like communities like beyond English speaking communities. It's been like the like Japanese communities, like Spanish speaking communities and stuff. They've gotten around. It's wild.
that must be
So-
really cool to see.
Yeah. So what inspired you to make the chat bubbles? Like where did that come from?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I actually used to be streaming using XSplit for a while. And it had a feature on it where you could have the chat kind of just like scroll past in like random positions. Which is kind of similar to I don't know if like you've seen like videos on like Nico Nico Duga. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but it's like a Japanese YouTube
Hmm.
essentially. Um, and like comments in that kind of just like scroll past on the screen like in real time as like when they were like commented on. It's kind of wild. Um, but I kind of had something similar to that with XSplit. There's also like I think there used to be a Twitch extension that did like kind of the same thing. Um, and then I was just like, well, I don't want to use XSplit anymore. And I don't know why I paid for it when OBS does like everything but better, except it doesn't have that feature. So like I need something. I wanted to build that, but then I was just like I was playing Fantasy Star Online 2. And in that game, in that MMO, there whenever people chat around you, it kind of pops up as little chat bubbles on the screen around you, like kind of based on where they are. So I kind of wanted to have that similar kind of experience, but on my stream. And so I kind of designed that um, to like get that same effect, and it was really fun. Yeah.
And then you've done a couple of different themes. So you've got the Animal Crossing theme, and then you've
Oh.
got the
Wait, am I not in the game anymore? Oh wait, no, I disconnected. Whoops.
Oh no. You should be able to
You-
rejoin. There you go. You reconnected.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're good.
And if you're wondering, visual watchers of the stream,
Visual watchers.
visual watcher. I don't know. You know what I meant? Anyways,
Yeah.
because the AC in my office is turned off, my camera has overheated. But I keep pointing to the wrong camera. But I was prepared for this to happen because this is not the
She's
first time this has
prepared.
happened. So now we get the awesome MySpace angle with the Logitech C920. So you're welcome. I was like, I bet it's gonna overheat during the recording. That would not surprise me. So
It's
I
so warm up
prepared for
there.
that. So look at
I
that.
didn't even know
New-
webcams could overheat. Like,
No,
yeah.
it's an actual camera.
Yeah, it gets
Mm.
toasty.
It's a Sony ZV-E10, so it's like an actual like.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a nice camera, but when you're up in the oldest part of the house, in
little
upstairs
sweaty.
with no HVAC, yeah, it gets a little toasty up there.
And it's got a light pointed right at it. So yeah.
I really want to rig up like I have to figure it out, but I want to like get a PC fan and just like somehow figure out how I can just plug it in to the wall and then just like
a fan for the camera.
not tape it on the back of it, but like figure out a way to mount it to the back. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
you're
Uber was
asking
sending me all
about
sorts of stuff, and I was like, I don't know what any of this is. He's like, well, this goes into this, and this is how you do this. And I was like, oh, that sounds really complicated, but I'll figure it out.
For all the brick that we're on, like I'm not getting any brick.
Yeah, because nobody's on 8, or nobody's on the 8 square, or those are
Not yet.
squares.
Listen,
They're not squares, they're
I tried.
hexagons.
Yes.
I'll get there.
You'll get there.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got some sheep.
Hell yeah.
Just like that. There we go.
Got
There you
so
go.
many sheep.
My strategy was to put a house on the sheep and then put a house on the sheep boat so that I could trade sheep for other things.
That's a good
It's
strategy. I think that's a reasonable
very
strategy.
slow. It's going very slow right now.
You don't have to win every game. It's
a
okay.
bit slow, just because like now that you don't have 2 houses on like triple tiles,
Yeah,
it's not great.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
It kind of limits you, and the likelihood that anybody's gonna roll a 12. Well, enjoy
Yeah,
that rock I
that's
just
rough.
got you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome.
Thank
Well,
you so
and
much.
still speaking about those chat bubbles, the most recent themes that you've come out with are the Windows 98 and the Windows XP, and I love them
Yeah.
so much. What caused you to make those beautiful
I-
pieces of art?
So I wanted to like make Windows XP ones, because that was like my favorite Windows version, for quite a long time, growing up, because I customized the heck out of it, because there was like so many different themes and stuff that you could get. You could get like the Microsoft Zune theme, which that was actually like a pretty nice looking theme, even though like I never had a Zune, but like whatever. Really?
There's
I was like the one
Zoom
of 10
user
people
here.
that have used a Zoom.
There's
ever.
one person here that's ever used a Zune.
Oh my gosh.
I loved it.
But yeah, I just just kind of tapping into that nostalgia, and I saw that there was like CSS themes that people have already made that kind of like bring in like all the stylings of like Windows 98 and Windows XP, and I'm just like, oh, I could just like use that, put it into the chat bubbles, and it'll work out. Definitely took a lot more work than I thought, just to like, it wasn't just as simple as like putting the themes in. I was also trying to make sure that the colorings worked well, because those themes were just based off of like if you wanted blue, and that's it. So I made sure that it was configured to like any color that you wanted to put, it would still like have the correct gradients and stuff. But yeah, and plus like I've watched some streamers who have like who use my chat bubbles and have like kind of like a Windows like 98 kind of aesthetic. So I thought it'd be like fun to just have this as an option that they could use. So yeah.
How long does it take you on average to do that?
Like 1 to 2 days, really. It's just kind of like I have the inspiration to do it, and then I figure it out, and then kind of like clean up all the bugs and just get it done.
You are a glitch
Yeah.
witch. That's impressive.
Thanks.
And you do commissions too? Is that correct? Because I think I saw something in your panels about like working with folks on custom overlay things.
Yeah, so I have done some commissions in the past. They're not currently open right now, just because like I want to spend some time on like my other projects. And like yeah, it's hard to find energy between like streaming and like my full-time job and like doing all that. So yeah, but it's been fun to do those custom commissions. Like I have like most of them are just like they just want the chat bubbles, but in like certain like custom themes and stuff. Like I've done one that is similar to like Paper Mario, like text bubbles. That was really fun to do. um and then the most complicated one I've done was based off of Metal Gear Solid.
Oh.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they had a bunch of fun specs for it, including like there would be like a custom frequency number for like every person
Oh,
that would
that's
show
so
up
cool.
on there, and I set it up so that it would like be like everyone would have a unique custom frequency that would like show up every time their name would show up. It would like be like generated based off of their username. And yeah, and
That's so
then there was
cool.
like profile images showing in there. Everything would be tinted green. So like even like emotes and like the profile image and like the badges, everything would be tinted green and stuff. It was really fun to work on.
That
That is
sounds really
so cool.
Yeah.
And how did you get into like coding and software engineering? Like how does one get into that? Because it seems very difficult.
Is it?
Seems like speaking a completely
Sure, it's
different
not.
language.
Yeah, it is. Definitely.
Yeah, how did I get into it? Well, I wanted to get into game development. That's how I got into it at first. And so I figured best way to do that would be get into the coding side of things, because you can't really have a game without code, really. I mean, you sort of can, but like it limits you a lot if you don't have coding knowledge. So that was the idea behind me getting into coding. Um, and so I just went to school for that. Um, Learned a bunch of Java and C++ in school, and then and like algorithms and whatever. Um, and yeah, I just kind of like went off of that. Um, had some jobs, learned how to do fun stuff with JavaScript for like the chat bubbles and stuff. All of that, mostly like the knowledge that I had learned prior wasn't really useful necessarily. um to like at the very least like figure out how to like program getting the chat bubbles and like reading from chats and like displaying them randomly. That was just kind of stuff I came up with um on my own with experimentation and stuff. I think the useful stuff before was just kind of like learning how to like make it styled nicely. um because like yeah, I mean aesthetics are a big part of like everything I code in. I always want to make sure it looks nice, so yeah.
And you do a great job of it because those chat bubbles are gorgeous. I found the chat bubbles through Mama Tamago because I went to one of her streams and I was like, "How'd she do that? How did she do that? Those are so cute." And I think she made a TikTok on it potentially,
Probably.
and had tagged you or linked you. And I was like, "I can have these too. I can put these in my chat." And then I was just hooked. Yeah, I'm stealing Mama Tamago's content and friends. That's all this is. It's a giant ruse to steal her content and her friends. Robo Dessert, you're next. Just kidding. I see them in chatting. We did get a question from chat. From Just Peachy. I may have missed if this question was asked, but I'm curious as to what her favorite project that she has worked on is. So was it Metal Gear or was there another project you've worked on that you liked as well?
My favorite? I mean, probably just like the chat bubbles in general, uh, are like my favorite. Um, the chat bubbles weren't the first thing I released to the public. Um, Before that, I made kind of just like a nice animated gradient frame that you could have on screen. That you could like customize the gradient colors, like the different animations and everything. And you could find that on my website if you want to mess around with that. Just because like I noticed like a bunch of big streamers had like fun little gradient frames, and I was just like, I don't understand video like editing stuff to be able to like make my own like WebM of it, but I can definitely code it and just have it as a browser source, um, and make it easy to for anyone to customize. So that's what I did. So that you don't need any knowledge of like Adobe XD or like After Effects or whatever. Not XD, After Effects, and stuff like that. So it was
I
that. And then there was also the chat leaderboard, which is like the first thing that really got me up in like TikTok fame. It was just like I wanted a way to like I had the chat bubbles on my stream beforehand. Um and I was just like, this kind of feels like an MMO. So like if I had some way of leveling chat up, um, then it makes them feel like little game characters, I guess. And I would just want a way to reward people who like were there and chatting. And so I made like a chat leaderboard system in which like every time someone like chats, they like gain XP and they can like level up and stuff. It was really fun. Um, yeah, and it's like super customizable and stuff too.
was looking
Uh,
at those, I think yesterday or the day before, when I was like, I'm gonna redo a whole bunch of scenes in my OBS because I need to put these Windows 98 chat bubbles somewhere because I love them so much. And I was wondering what the chat leaderboards were, and I was like, I don't know what those are. So that's good to know because I think that is really cool and something that would be fun to implement. So I'll have to go back and check those out. And speaking
yeah,
of MMORPGs, you've mentioned in your about section, because I definitely like just creeped on all of your stuff. And I was like, I'm just going to do some reading and I'm going to ask a bunch of questions. So you'd
mhm.
mentioned that some of your favorite games are MMORPGs, puzzle games, and platformers. What are your top 3 favorite games?
It's a good question. My favorites kind of like change over time, but like from what I can remember right now, um, from MMOs, uh, honestly, my favorite's probably Maple Story. That one was the one I played the most. I mean, I've played a lot, um, but Maple Story always has a special place in my heart. I think there was another one also by Nexon called Vindictus. Um, that just had really fun combat. Uh, that you don't really see in a lot of MMOs. And then there was also Fantasy Star Online too, which is just ridiculously fun. Um, but that's MMOs. In terms of like platformers, Mario games are like the most fun platformers for sure. Um, yeah, they're a great time. Especially like what is my favorite Mario platformer? Maybe Galaxy. Galaxy was really fun. Um, not the first, not Super Mario 64. Um, I don't like the movement in that game. It's all slidey. Like I know a lot
Yes.
of people love
Skirt.
it, but like I couldn't get through it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. No way. Um, yeah. And then puzzle games, my favorite one was definitely Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. I don't know if you've heard of that,
I
but
have not.
basically, um, I think it was on the DS or 3DS or
That
something. I
sounds
had it
that
on my
sounds like a
phone.
DS game to me.
Yeah,
Like
they
just
had
that
a
title.
mobile port as well that I played. And like you basically you're a dead detective, but you have like ghost powers, and you're kind of trying to figure out like how you died and stuff, and like solving all these things on the way. It's really fun, um, and it would be like it would be so great if there was like just like a Switch remake of it, because I really want more people to experience it.
And the Switch does seem to me like it's the platform that just games get remade for. so
Yeah,
many there's so many remakes or HD remasters or whatever on the Switch. And I love it because then it gives people a place to buy those games again, or for maybe a lot of the kids that have the Switch, maybe somebody, a younger person wants to play BioShock. I don't know. Like, it's like
Skyrim.
It's just cool. No, Skyrim for the Samsung fridge. No, it's not Skyrim.
Just put it on everything with the screen.
Put it on everything. It would be shocking if Skyrim was not on the Switch, but it is.
Yeah,
and it's in VR, and you can everywhere. You can just get it everywhere.
Yeah, and Ghost Trick like utilized the touchscreen a lot, and like the Switch has a touchscreen, so it worked.
Yeah,
it definitely
you could
worked.
you could do it in a way that would make sense.
Mhm.
But yeah, I love the Switch. Ophi doesn't really care for the Switch as much. I'm calling you out publicly.
Okay. All right.
She doesn't like the Switch.
There's a bunch of fun games that you can only play on the Switch.
I've just never been like a Nintendo person, and like the controllers are very small, and I don't know.
You have small hands.
I know I do, but it's not like, you know. I
don't know.
I played Animal Crossing for a minute, and then I was like, meh, I'm gonna play The Sims. Different kind of building game.
There for a while. I was like, yeah, you like The Sims, so you like some of these other games, and I was like, I think you'd really like Animal Crossing. Even though they're not the same game at all, but I was like, I think you'd like Animal Crossing. She's like, I already played that. I bought my Switch. I played that, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't really understand why people like this game. And I was like, how do you not? You just walk around and you dig holes and you just plant plants and you hang out with your villagers, like, and buy stuff.
Which is everything in a game that I enjoy. Like the components of Animal Crossing are everything that I enjoy. I like resource management. I like building things. I like crafting. But I don't know what it is about Animal Crossing where I'm just like, I don't.
No, but it built up to the point where it was like, how do you not understand this game then? It seems like everything about this game you would like. And she was like, yeah, I don't know. And then I figured out that she didn't do the tutorial. Like she just skipped through everything, didn't pay attention to what anybody had to say to her. And then she said, I don't know. I don't get how to play this game. I don't know what to do.
Okay. All right.
That is on you.
I don't do tutorials. I was so in any aspect of my life do I do tutorials. I just go, I'm just gonna figure it out. I'm just gonna figure it out on my own. And then sometimes I'm humbled by the fact that I can't. Like last night I was like, I'm gonna edit a video in Premiere Pro without any knowledge of how to do any of that. I'm just gonna do it. I can't be that bad. 4 hours later on something I wanted to be about 1 minute long. Turns out you do need to learn the basics. But I don't do that in video games as well. If there's an option to skip a tutorial, I'll skip it. And then I usually complain about the game. And then he's like, well, did you read how to play it? And I'm like, no, I just thought I would just learn how to play it while I was doing it. Thought I just you just learn by just playing.
Learn how to play by doing the tutorial.
Yeah. See. Okay. All right. Just do the tutorial. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, my chat will get upset with me if they watch me play a new game because I'll just be like skip, and they're like, because they know later on I'm gonna be like, how do I do this? Or like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go or what I'm supposed to do. And they're like, well, it literally told you how to do that, but you skipped it, so you need to figure it out.
I think I just realized why. I think I realized why you do that. So there's obviously I want the immediate reward of just going and doing a thing and being good at it.
Yeah.
Which happens maybe 50% of the time because you don't read the tutorial. But you were an avid, you played a lot of Final Fantasy 14. And that game will just tell you where to go and what to do, regardless of what the people say.
I mean, you just go where the exclamation point's at.
That's what I mean. So like you get through you skip all the dialogue. Listen, blah blah blah.
If you're not gonna voice it over for me, I'm not gonna read 100 pages of dialogue between two side NPCs on a side quest that doesn't. I just am not gonna do it.
That's true. But what I'm saying is, I think I learned something about you today, and we've been together for a while, but I think it's just interesting because I'm just putting the pieces together.
I need instant gratification.
Yeah, well, you need that, but you're like skipping through all the dialogue, and then you just. But then a game like Final Fantasy is just like, here's an exclamation point, go there, and then you continue to go there, and then you talk to that person, and then you don't read any of the things that they say, and then they give you another place to go. I'm just brain blast. I'm just learning things today.
I'm glad that we're learning so much about me and my lack of reading tutorials.
read the tutorials.
Let's refocus this not on me and my not reading tutorials.
That was a good offshoot conversation.
Zaytri, how do you segue? Zaytri. First off, Zaytri is whooping us. I want to point that
absolutely.
out. I haven't been able to place anything except for a robber, which, at this rate, I'm just gonna do this move. Because okay, cool. I got more brick that I didn't need. I haven't been able to place a single thing. Nobody wants to trade with me, and I haven't placed a single thing. Nothing has happened for me on the board. And Zaytri's just like, I'm going to cut between your two houses, then I'm going to cut up to the coast, and then I'm going to go hurt Funky maybe. But I'm definitely going to have longest road. That's what's happening right now. I need everybody to understand that this is what's happening. Look at this long road. It's
been going great.
Yeah.
I really just want to.
I'm glad that you practiced before coming onto the show. Thank you for practicing.
We go week to week, or whatever. Whenever we do these recordings, we don't play in between. Like, we just play whenever we play with other people. So if you're watching or listening and you're we want to be on the podcast, or you're like you might already be on the schedule to be on the podcast, it's just know that if you practice just like a little bit, you might have like a huge advantage.
I pretty much played against bots yesterday until I won.
And now you're doing it again today. So I mean, you're on a roll.
I'm playing like an easy bot right now.
I picked the wrong tiles. I've gotten I just have a handful of brick and sheep, which what am I
my strategy, spoiler alert, it's not good. it's not a good one.
It was an attempt.
It was an attempt. I saw the thing and the neurons connected in my brain, and I was like, yeah, and then it's bad.
No, I definitely tried that against bots yesterday, and I was just like, it doesn't really work.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Man, I'm on the sheep tile, and I need sheep, but I'm not getting sheep.
I have 2 sheep, but you don't have anything I want, probably.
I'm gonna just take. Oh, son of a bitch!
Are you kidding me? I just spent all of my brick to get that, and you took it from me?
I just wanted the sheep.
I just got rid of all of my brick because I wanted wood, because I don't have access to any, because somebody cut me off from it. So I don't have access to any. And I was like, fine, I'll just get rid of my brick, and I'll get my 1 wood, and I'm sure I'll get brick again because I'm on the brick thing. You piece.
What? I didn't do it intentionally. I would love a piece of wheat. Thank you.
Take some wheat.
Thank you. Thank you for your generous contribution to us poor folk over here on the coast.
Please,
just trying to get our sheep.
I need some wheat. I'll give you some rocks. So I don't know how to word this question. I mean, I literally do know how I would word this question because I wrote it out. But I want to word it another way, which is when you go into somebody's stream, and maybe you don't know them very well, or maybe you're just like clicking random streams. If you go into somebody's stream and you see your chat bubbles, like, how does that feel?
It feels great. Yeah, especially because my chat bubbles have mostly grown in like communities of like marginalized people and like LGBTQIA plus spaces and such. And so like when I see the chat bubbles on a thumbnail, um, it's kind of usually a good indication that they're like a person that I would vibe with. Um, Not always. But like a good amount of the time it's just like, yeah, like I just kind of pop in. I'm just like, oh yeah, this is a good time. And it's just like a nice way for like me to find other cool streamers. Um, and yeah, and it's like wild like seeing the chat bubbles um like so much now on just like recommended streams to me. It's it's so cool. I don't know, it's they've, like, spread so much, and I'm just like, "That's wild." I don't even know how many streams have it. I have no idea how I get those numbers, maybe Streamlabs has it. They haven't given it to me. Either way, that's kinda fun to not know, um, because I don't know what I would do with that number, right? I just know, like, I mean, from the people who are using it, like, that I've seen, it's pretty cool, and, like, people have, like, used it in, like, different, like, um, ways that I wouldn't have necessarily know. Like, some people, like, have, message filters set so that it only will spawn chat bubbles for their bot so that they can have, like, little chat bubbles, like, right next to, like, a little, um, avatar of, like, their bot or something, and it, like, looks like that is speaking and stuff,
That's a cool
and
idea.
yeah. There's a bunch of different, like, fun ways that people have found because like, there's so many different customizations in there that, like, you can do a lot of fun stuff.
And you just added a new feature too, didn't you? Where it was like you could do the random chat bubbles, but it wouldn't like it was around you rather than like you had it so that they could like put it around themselves if they wanted to.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, so that, um here, let me just end my turn. Yeah, so for that, I was, like, thinking well, I mean, a bunch of people had, like, asked, like, of, like, a way to have the chat bubbles, but, like, not go on their faces and stuff when they're like just chatting or like kind of covering up the gameplay and stuff. And so I kind of figured out a way to get that done by just having them just like only on the edges of the screen. And another part that kind of inspired that is because I love Paper Mario and how in like the battle scenes there's like the audience and like you could utilize that to kind of have um just like an audience like at the bottom of your screen and then like have the chat bubbles like only be like above the audience members and stuff. And I thought that would be like really fun.
Yeah, it is really cool. And I haven't seen like a ton of like necessary like super unique ways of using them, just like different like colors and different fonts and stuff. But I think what you were talking about with the bot, that's pretty clever. I like that a
Hmm.
lot. Cuz there are so many and of course, I guess this kind of circles back to the fact that I don't read tutorials and how I had mentioned prior to starting the recording that I didn't realize I could edit as much as I could because I just didn't pay attention and read all of the things. And it was just like, this is so beautiful. I'm just going to leave it as is because it's perfect. Like, there's so many customizable options within it that and it is easy. Like, for somebody to snag it and start editing it you don't need to know code or anything. You just drop down menus and, check boxes. And it's so cool. I was talking to one of our friends and community members who's in chat right now. I won't call you out by name, but you can identify yourself if you want to. But I was showing him like the different chat bubbles and things. And they really thought it was cool that you had included the pronouns in the chat bubbles as well, because that's not always an option. And so yeah, it's such a cool feature, and I definitely fangirl and geek over it. And I was so stoked that you were willing to be on here because I was like, this person has influenced so many people in their streams and probably doesn't know, as you said, how many people, but it is a lot. And so I feel
Yeah.
really lucky that we could talk with you and people could put a face to the name, like, this is the person that did this awesome thing that is free to the community, and you've just done because it's something that interests you, and it's so freaking cool. So thank you for hanging out too, and for building such a cool, really simple to use tool for people. Because anytime somebody's like, your chat bubble is really cool, how do you do that? I'm like, Zaytri, go to Zaytri.com. It's one of the top links, if not the top link. Just click on it. That's it. Just log into Stream Elements, click on it, edit away. Web browser source. Like, and it looks so good.
Yeah, I mean, you should already be using Stream Elements. And if you're not, shame on you.
I'm looking at the wrong camera again. I was going to do the like habit to turn.
No, we like Stream Elements. That's kind of the thing that we recommend people gravitate towards. There's lots of options, but Stream Elements is really dope.
Well, it's helpful because it doesn't like eat a bunch of your computer resources or anything, because it's just on the web. Yeah. Which is pretty nice.
Yeah. My chat bubbles used to make like my first version that I just had for myself was just like a program that I ran on my computer that I like made myself. And then eventually I found out that I could do custom coded widgets and Stream Elements. And that expanded a lot of like I poured over the chat bubbles to that, and I'm like, oh my god, I can make these customizable for like other people to use and stuff. And it was just like, this is wild that like this is an option that exists. And like it has like all the hook-ins to Twitch and stuff already. I don't have to like code any of that stuff myself. So it's been really fun to use to like make custom widgets and stuff.
And then you have your code up on like GitHub too for people to access. I think I
Yeah.
saw too.
Yeah.
Which is also
I have it
really
all
cool.
up there. Yeah. Well, this was like the first like personal project that I've done with code. That like I've like actually made and like finished and released something out of. Because like a big thing in like software engineering, especially when you're a student, is just like people like push you to like be like, you need to have like a personal project going on so that you have like code to show to like interviewers and stuff. And I just like never had like I had like some ideas and whatnot, and I would like start them and then I would just do nothing about them because I just didn't have the motivation for it. And then like I started streaming, and I just like started making stuff for my stream, and that was really fun. And like I was actually able to like make stuff on my own, and I loved that. And like I wanted to like, you know, share the code so that like other people could like see how it's done if they would like, maybe like do some modifications of it if they wanted to, and just kind of like see how they could build stuff for themselves. So yeah.
Have you had people like make modifications and build on the code that you've created and shared?
Yeah, mostly like minor modifications, just kind of like aesthetics and stuff. I know like I saw one where someone was asking if they could like make this modification that adds like little cat ears on top of the chat bubbles, and I was just like, that is adorable. Yes, do it. They were just kind of asking like how to make sure that the cat ears were like the same color as the chat bubbles, and like I just kind of explained how to do it. Like a bunch of people have like asked about like little custom modifications and stuff, and I just kind of like, I'm like, yeah, this takes like a few lines of code, so I just kind of like whip up some screenshots of like, and like tell them like what code to insert, and then like so that they could like kind of insert that in. That's kind of like a little way of like showing them how code works. And that's always really fun.
Nice. Mama Tamago says she needs the cat ears one. Oh, OMG, I need mine to be egg.
You definitely need egg ones. How would that work? I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but you gotta figure that out. Oh my god, I have so many cards to discard. Why?
Oh no, you're just so good at the
Oh,
game and you picked
darn
really good
it.
locations. Darn,
Man,
that's so
discarded all those
tough.
bricks. I
Aw.
could have built so many roads with that.
Darn. It's
I'll say
fine.
like
I got like one card. I'll take some of your cards for free.
I have 3 rocks. Now I have 2 rocks.
Thank you for that, Rob.
I have
Audio
no
listeners, Zaytri just
rocks.
took one of my rocks.
Yeah, Zaytri is at 7 points. If not higher, if she's got mystery cards that are giving her points. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah.
I don't
It's got it.
I don't foresee us like winning this
No.
one.
No.
It's pretty far gone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just do
Yeah.
this. Cause
Wow.
don't wow in that tone. Do not.
Wow.
This is not going to hurt or make any difference in points. Chat, you don't need to wow me either. Nobody needs to wow me. I didn't do anything wrong. Now I just have 2 sheep and I don't need sheep. But
I would love those. You could just give them to me?
No.
Okay.
No. You know
Well,
what
I'm
we
not
do
gonna beat
need?
you, so.
You know what we do need?
Huh.
A little breaky break because we are almost at the 1 hour mark. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna let people see the cool little video for like 5 minutes so we can get drinks or bio break or whatever. So I'm going
the game
to
will still be going on.
Yes, the game will still be going on, but I'll just let my turn sort of
mindful.
run. But yeah, we will be right back in about 5 minutes.
Dope.
And we are back. And
Hello.
audio should be working great.
Should be.
And we are back. And Zaytri is still winning.
By
a lot. By a lot. So much. How many do you have? You have 5 settlements. Are you out of settlements? Can you place anymore? Are you out?
No, I need to upgrade now.
That sounds so tough.
It's so tough for you.
So the next set of questions, I wanted to bring up. You are developing, is it an application? Slime chat.
Yeah. Well, it's like a service. It's an emote service. You know,
Okay.
similar to like Better Twitch TV and FrankerFace C, right? Where you can have like free emotes for like people to use as long as they have the extension, right? Yeah, and like the idea behind it is, you know, it's a place for more like positive and safe emotes. You know, I'm like making sure that like any emotes that will be on there um won't have like any hateful imagery, and also make sure that there aren't like seizure inducing emotes, because I know like people really like the like rainbow emotes, the like or like rave rainbow emotes, but like not everyone will that's not great for like people with like photosensitive epilepsy and stuff. So just kind of want like a place for that, um, as well as ensuring that artists get like proper attribution for their emotes and stuff. Because like I've like built in all these systems so that, well, at least I've designed them. I haven't really built them yet. I'm planning on it. Where you know, all these emotes can be like attributed to like specific artists. Artists can kind of lock them in so that like other people can't use them. You know, just because like I know that, like there's some artists that like um don't necessarily allow other like anyone to utilize their art like that. So there'll be like a place for that. Um and I also like built in a whole system for detecting duplicate images, duplicate
Nice.
emotes. So it kind of like finds any emote that's in there that's similar, so that we can like find if there's duplicates or like find if there's any that are like artist locked and stuff to like ensure that they don't get past the approval process and all of that. So um there's a lot of that like built into it that I'm planning on having. And of course like I'm just gonna and it's gonna be totally free because like I've figured out ways to like make it all really cheap for me to host and stuff. Um as far as like image hosting, it's all using Imgur actually.
Nice.
So I don't even have to pay for like image storage, which would probably be the most of the cost if I were to like pay for anything. But Imgur is just like if it's something that's free, you don't have to like you don't have to pay for it. So I'm like, cool. Awesome. I'll just I'll use free stuff to like make free stuff. So that's the plan.
There it is.
Congratulations, Zaytri. You've won.
And there that
You
is.
didn't have any cards that like points or victory points in any card
No.
form. That's
No, I didn't.
just brute force. I love it.
Yep.
I'm gonna click the rematch button.
Yeah, it should take
I
you back
didn't
in.
even know I was actually like one step away from winning.
I knew
That's
it was going to
fine.
happen. I was like, there must be a card or something that she's going to pull and she's just going to win. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but you have is it Ko-Fi or coffee? Ko-Fi? Coffee?
I think it's pronounced Kofi.
Okay.
Kofi.
Yeah, because
Kofi.
they have a tweet somewhere that's like Kofi rhymes with no fee.
Kofi.
Okay,
that's
Kofi.
how you remember it. Yeah.
Well, you do have
Kofi's great.
one, and Zaytri is providing all of these resources and things for free. So, if you use them and you enjoy them, and you want to say thank you monetarily, if you go to Zaytri.com, you can do it that way.
Yeah.
Hint, hint, wink, wink.
It's an
because
option.
she's doing a lot of work. A lot of work for free. So we like to support I'm going to refer to you as an artist because I think it is an art form, and we like to support artists in the community. So, I mean, Zaytri.com, or if you do !guest in chat, it'll bring up all of her links. And Funky, it looks like we have another question in chat while I start the game back up.
What has been your favorite part of Twitch streaming and content creation?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think my favorite part has just been like meeting people, to be honest, like meeting like a bunch of like cool streamers and stuff, and like kind of like getting to know people, and getting like on this stream, getting to like talk to y'all has been really fun. Yeah, and just I think like meeting people has been the most fun. Which like it the weird part about it for me is that like most of it happens not while I'm streaming. It's just like while I'm like doing stuff with other socials and whatnot. Is when like I make all those connections and stuff. Yeah. Um
Yeah, it's definitely true that like everybody's content creation journey is very different in how they handle things.
Mhm.
And it's very true that the creation of the or streaming or videos is like 10% of that, and then the rest of it is like all the cool people you meet or all the work that you're doing behind the scenes that people don't see.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into it, like behind the scenes. It's way more than what's on stream for sure. Yeah.
I'm placing my stuff last again. I'm looking at you, Zaytri.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to figure out where to place my settlement so you don't just sit between them again. What do I want? I definitely
Now
want
I'm like wondering where I want to go next.
away from me.
Well, if we're talking about like extensions, like Chrome extensions for Twitch, something
Mhm.
I've only ever used BTTV, right?
Mhm.
And I rarely use it.
I didn't know what it was until very recently.
Right. I was recommended to install the FrankerFaceZ one because of the host functionality, or like being able to just like click a button and host people right on their stream rather than like having to go back to my chat and do it that way. And that's been awesome. The one little thing that I never really thought of being a thing that I would use very frequently is that I think it's the FrankerFaceZ one. I'm not sure. I installed them both around the same time, and I don't know which feature does where and which one comes from where. But the one thing that I do really like about it is that there's a like a compressor feature. So if the stream is loud or soft or too loud or whatever, you can use that and you can boost the audio or whatever. It's made watching Twitch a little bit more tolerable in some situations. Not that it has to be tolerable, but you know what I mean. It's like you know what I mean. Like it like squishes the audio and makes it more listenable. I guess.
But you're not an audiophile.
Yeah.
I'm not an audiophile, but things hurt my ears sometimes.
No, that makes sense. I do. Yeah, I think that is a FFC feature.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. Yeah, I haven't really messed around with that, but
it's nice
because I forgot that it was a thing. To be honest,
I didn't even know it was a thing, and then I saw it and I clicked on it and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool."
The host thing is neat because you have to go back to your channel and like go to your chat. Not that that's a lot of work, but like
that's a lot of work.
It's like, man, I'd rather just have like a little button.
Yeah, the button is really nice. My favorite part is like they have the pronouns integration in it.
Right.
So like instead of just having the pronouns with like the default styling that the pronouns extension gives you, with FrankerFaceZ you can actually customize the badge a bit. So like I have mine having like a nice like kind of dark pink background with like white text.
Oh, nice.
And since FrankerFaceZ is an extension that's also built into OBS, you can have your chat in OBS have pronouns shown up through FrankerFaceZ.
That is cool.
Did not know that.
Yeah. Very useful. Because otherwise you wouldn't be able to see the pronouns in OBS chat otherwise.
Yeah, I have OBS on one monitor. When I'm running Mixed Up, which I don't run Mixed Up when I'm doing this particular stream because the gremlins in chat can't be trusted with anything that makes noise. So I just shut it right down so we can't do any fart noises or anything like that. And then I usually have that chat open, OBS chat open, and then I have Twitch open on a tab. So I'm like looking at multiple different chats just to see like if there's something missing or like, so yeah, but that would be pretty nice because my OBS chat is the one that I'm like primarily looking at. So that would be cool. I should probably figure out how to do that. Add that in.
Yeah, I have like a TikTok tutorial somewhere on it. It's like deep in my TikToks now. I know there's like I made a tweet. No, someone made a tweet using my TikTok video about it that got around for a while, but that was a while ago. But like essentially, you just I think like there's a way to search it up. Like to enable Frankerface C in OBS, and then you can go into Frankerface C settings, enable the pronouns add-on, and then customize the pronouns from there. And it'll show like all the pronouns from like the normal pronouns extension right in there.
Nice. And that kind of brings up a question for me about a tweet that I recently saw. Actually, I think it was BB Just had tweeted about how basically online you get inspired by other content creators pretty regularly, and that basically she was saying, you know, she's been heavily inspired by Jenna Marbles, but she would see other content creators or other streamers kind of copying things that she does and sort of taking a step back and going, well, actually, I draw a lot of inspiration from Jenna Marbles, so I should not be upset that other people are sort of like copying my content. When it comes to your chat bubbles and things that you've created, what's the best way? Because I'm very big into making sure I attribute or thank or mention the original person that showed me the thing or created it. What is your preferred way for people to attribute your work in their content, if at all?
Yeah.
What is your preference with that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't require any attribution, but like I've seen people like kind of just like include a mention to me in like my website in like their like Twitch panels or something. Other people have like created like a custom command to run whenever people ask about it. And like yeah, the best way to link it is probably just to like link to my website, because like the chat bubbles are like on the top there, and then it'll have the like rest of my socials if people want to look at it. So yeah, those two ways I think would be the best way to give attribution if people want to. It's not required though.
I like doing it though. I think it's important because, like I said, you have created a resource that a lot of people use. And if you stream a lot, you use it almost every day. And I think that you deserve like recognition and a thanks for doing that, because it's a lot. It's a lot of work. And I think it's easy in this environment to just basically like share links with folks and not sort of think about that there's a person that like spent, mind you, you said, you know, it takes a couple days, but that's days out of your life to create this thing, let alone for free. And I think it's just important that people recognize the person behind that idea or that product or that service, and be able to attribute that to you when they can. And your preferred way of doing that. I just finished last night, which that's why I was trying to teach myself Premiere Pro out of nowhere at 7:00 at night. Cause I was like, I'm just going to try it and see if I can do it. Was making this like, you know, in movies, like at the end of a movie, they have credits, but like right before the credits, they have like, pictures of some of the main actors that like pop up, like so-and-so starring as blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, I want to make one of those before my credits roll, where I mention the people who are typically in my streams, and then mentioning the folks who do my emotes, and then accrediting and attributing the chat bubbles to you, so people can know like Zaytri. So people don't go, oh, I love your chat bubbles. Where'd you get them? Zaytri, Zaytri.com. Go to Zaytri.com. If you like these chat bubbles, if you enjoy them, go to Zaytri.com. Zaytri made them. Zaytri. It's a person. Zaytri. She has a Discord. Go check her out. And a TikTok and an Instagram. And all the lovely links that are in chat.
All the things. I even have a Tumblr, but like I don't do anything with that, so I don't link it. But
I forget that Tumblr. I didn't know if people still use Tumblr or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
it's still there.
Live.
It's still
All
going.
right.
It's
Right
still
on.
the same.
Oh,
Which is wild.
Oh no.
Interesting. I think the last time I was on Tumblr, I was maybe like a sophomore or junior in high school, maybe. And then I just one day just stopped using it, I guess, and then I forgot it existed. just stopped using it.
This reminds me of like old blog sites. Like I don't even remember what the website was even called, but I had a girlfriend in high school that had a blog, or was blogging or whatever. That was a big thing then. I just don't remember what any of those sites are called. I feel like
WordPress is still being used.
No, it's not
WordPress.
WordPress.
No,
It's some
it's
like
not WordPress?
weird website that I just my
Uh,
information is still on there somewhere, or if it still exists, I have no idea. I don't even remember what it's called.
Makes me think of our conversation we were having in voice chat the other night about Gaia Online. We were
oh
discovering
my
that,
god,
like,
Oh,
Gaia.
wow.
yeah, uh,
I was in
used to
that.
be a novel writer. Gaia
Mm.
Online, heavily. Oh, I can do something with my house.
Oh,
Watch
that's
out,
never been
world!
done.
I upgraded my house. Woo woo woo.
Look at all those rocks you have.
So many rocks.
Yeah, I'm not getting no, don't steal stuff. Don't steal stuff from me. I don't have much.
I dropped a robber on you just because. So I was like, I'm gonna just
Wow.
I'm gonna be a little petty and I'm gonna just take a rock and it's gonna be fine.
It's not fine.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, OMG Gaia Online. Yeah, it's funny. Like, it was like a weird part of my like middle school life that I forget about, and then it's always strange meeting people and being like, "Oh, you were there too, huh?"
You were there too.
Interesting. Yes,
We were all
very
there.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I was never.
I was
that
on
was
there
that
just
was
to
never a
like
thing for me.
make a little custom character. I never really did much with it because like I didn't want to like involve myself in the forums or whatever because like I just this I don't know introvert I guess.
Sure.
But like I would just like do dailies and stuff to like get coins, like buy outfits and stuff, and then didn't really do
Glam.
much else, but it was fun.
Glam is endgame.
Yeah.
I don't play games or do much of anything if I can't customize my character. And I'm very snotty about that. If I get in a game and I can't like change my clothes, even if the options are like, here's a gray shirt and like a slightly darker gray shirt, fine, whatever. That's whatever. I'll do it. Versus just not being able to change my shirt. I'm just glam is end game for me.
I base my game recommendations for OP based on that fact.
If I can customize
she
my character
will-
in any way, I need to be able to do that.
She will want to
Okay.
customize it. So if there is no customization, if there is no customization, then it's out.
Yeah,
It's
my
done.
my favorite part about exploring MMORPGs is the character customization because it's usually like way in depth. Even if like I never play the game much, I'll usually spend more time in the character creation than the actual game because then I just realize
Yeah.
the game isn't great. But it's just fun making a character. I love it.
That's how I felt about, I think it was Black Desert Online. Like their character creation options
Yes.
are beautiful. And I was like, this
That
game's
was
going to
so
be
fun.
so great. And I made like the most beautiful character. And then I think I played the game for 10 minutes. And I was like, I hate it. I'm confused.
Did you play the tutorial?
Shut
though?
up.
She
don't wanna
didn't
talk
play the
about-
tutorial.
Listen,
Okay, to be fair, MMOs you don't really need a tutorial.
You shouldn't.
Okay. You really don't. You just kind of go with the exclamation marks.
Yeah.
Yep.
It just kind of works. Which is kind of sad, but I mean it works.
and then you've got, Final Fantasy where you have like 4 different faces. And it's like, all right, well, I mean, I might run into somebody that looks exactly like me, but it's probably not going to happen. It's just enough customization. I could use more though.
So I don't even know what Guy Online is. I have no idea.
That's
But-
okay.
That was probably around the time I was maybe playing RuneScape, right? Is that
Yeah.
like the same
Yeah.
era? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. It's like early
Yeah,
2000s.
similar.
Yeah, I was playing RuneScape and Diablo 2 and just living my life, man.
Yeah, I was RPing as a vampire in a forum. So, I mean, that was just what I did a lot.
Guy Online was like one of those places where you could like totally customize like the HTML, CSS of your profile. And so I didn't know code back then. So I just found this cool like Guitar Hero 3 theme and just like smacked it on there, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
hell yeah. Have like a little music player auto playing stuff. It
Nice.
was fun.
Yeah, any coding experience I've ever had has been all in part due to MySpace. Like that's where I was like, I could learn that. That was fine because I needed to make sure that my profile looked really cool and really moody. And now
And
I use a little bit of HTML, but not a ton in my day to day. But I would like to learn more, but it's very intimidating for me. Like
I
it
can
just
see
seems like
that.
it would be really hard to like, because it to me it seems like a completely different language, and I just don't know how I would train myself to sort of understand it.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, like the how I got into coding at first was uh it was because of MapleStory private servers, which would have like their own websites and stuff, and so I would just kind of like download like the website builders and stuff because I kind of want to host my own, um, and like I would figure out ways to manipulate the CSS to like style it more
Hmm.
nicely than like the default options that they had. And so that's kind of like how I got into it at first. And like I was actually like getting into like web design and stuff because of that. Like I learned Photoshop just to be able to like create website designs for these MapleStory private servers and stuff. Like that was a whole potential track that I could have gone into. And then like I tried working with someone to like make website design, and I realized like working with a client for a website design sucks really bad.
yeah.
So I was just like, maybe I'll just code the things instead. But like it was really useful to like learn like all like the ways like design works and stuff, and like that's why like the stuff I make looks nice because I don't only know the code, like I also like got an eye for design because of all those years like spent like making all of that, like making forum signature like banners and stuff and all that. So yeah,
So
that was a
so
fun
blame
time.
MapleStory.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or thank, blame or thank.
Yeah.
'Cause it seems to be working well for you because everything looks really nice. And
Thank you.
total gear switch. I think one of the last streams of yours that I was in, you were talking about um, being a VTuber or getting a VTuber made, and I believe you were talking
Mhm.
about sort of what your ideal VTuber would be. Do you want to talk a little bit about what a
Yeah.
VTuber for you would look like, and if you would like primarily VTube, or if you're like interested in like a mix of face cam like this in VTube, or sort of what you would do with that?
Yeah, so like I before I got into like streaming um like seriously, I guess, which was like the start of January 2021 when I hit affiliate. Um was when I decided I would just seriously start streaming. Like I think like maybe like a month or so before that, I had seen like Code Miko's streams, and like the way that she has their like her whole like VTubing setup, and I was just like, whoa, that's wild, but like also expensive as hell. But I'm like, maybe I could do something similar, but like way less money. um and so like yeah, I'll come back around to that. But like as far as like the kind of VTuber model I would um like I want to be a glitch witch, right? So I'd have like a witch outfit and stuff, but like also like stuff that like just kind of like digital tech stuff and whatnot that I would do. Um and so it'd be like that whole idea. Um and like I'm actually currently working with a character designer to figure out how the model would look, because I literally had no idea how I would even potentially make a character. Because that's hard. That's hard to come up with
Mm.
something especially for yourself, like something unique. And so like I sent them like a whole Pinterest mood board. Like I learned how to use Pinterest for the first time. Didn't know how to use Pinterest before that, so I'm like, I think like I was asking Mama Tamago like, how do I do this stuff on Pinterest? Because I had no idea.
It's good for building concepts.
Yeah, so like I just kind of like put together a bunch of like different I put together a mood board essentially. Like as far as I could tell, I didn't know really how a mood board worked. I was just like putting stuff together. I'm like, this is kind of inspiration for the glitch witch and whatnot, and just like putting a bunch of things together. And so the character designer I hired kind of like took that and made up a bunch of like outfits based off of that, and I'm just like, how did you even do that? That's amazing. And then so I'm just like picking and choosing what I like about each outfit, and it's just kind of been evolving over time. We've like got the outfit all solidified together for the most part now, and now like we're working on the colors, and it's really exciting. Don't know there's no timeline for like when that's gonna be done. It's just kind of like it'll be done when it's done. But I'm excited. But that's just the character design. I still after that's finished, I still have to like hire another person to actually make the model itself, based on the design. So
Yeah, there's a
it's in the
lot that goes
works.
into it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I'm just, I'm thankful that I have the money from like software engineering um to be able to like kind of fund that and like pay like a character designer and artist like what they're worth for all of that. um because like I could have tried to do it myself, it wouldn't have been too great. um but like yeah, uh it's been a really fun time just like working with them to like build out this character. Yeah. um
That's very cool. I think I find VTubing quite fascinating.
I love it. I love
some
it so
some of the
much.
things that some people can do with a virtual character is just very, very funny to me. Ophi, who's that VTuber you've sort of like we've rated them a couple
Vivi?
times. Yeah,
Vivi Chan the dragon?
she is just
She's very funny.
hilarious. It's
She's very
anytime
Code
you go,
Miko in her sense of humor.
and everything is so chaotic. Every time we go into their stream, it's always something different. But yeah, very, very funny. But
Yeah,
also, we'll get serious with you too. There will be times where somebody will bring up something, and she will correct you.
Kind of stop the show a little bit and be like,
Yeah,
okay,
and
we're gonna have a
teach
conversation
people
about this particular
about
thing.
certain things that maybe people wouldn't necessarily know. But it's very interesting.
yeah, right, circling back to like my plans for VTubing past the model, like I would definitely want to incorporate coding into it, right? So like I want to create um I want to create like an entire 3D thing. Like I have like I've had this whole idea like ever since I started streaming, um that I would create like a custom thing in Unity where um I'd have like virtual screens everywhere. Um and like I do it in VR, right? Like I put on a VR headset, and I have face tracking with like a little face tracking extension, which I already have like set up. And then like there was like this thing in Unity where you can like basically grab like the different screens on your computer, similar to like OBS, right? But you can like put them in 3D space, right? So I'd want to do that, essentially, and then like you have like a camera viewed onto like those screens, so that like the viewers could see them, but like I could like freely move around the camera freely move around the screens, expand them and stuff. And that's kind of my plan for that. And kind of figure out where I go from there.
That would be so cool.
It sounds very
Yeah.
ambitious and very cool.
I would
I
love
want
to
us
Oh,
to
watch
be-
ambitious
that.
as hell.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And the fact that you would be the one to sort of orchestrate all of that, that's so dope.
Yeah, it's definitely. I have no idea what I'm getting into for the coding for that. That's a whole thing that I don't know anything about, but I'm gonna figure it out. I don't care. Like I don't care how lost I
gonna
get.
say,
I'm
it
gonna
seems like you're
figure it
somebody
out.
that if you want to do something, you're gonna figure it out and you're gonna do it.
Pretty much. Yeah. Like, and I also had another idea for like a special thing of chat within that. Like I would have the chat like as like objects within that space. Such that like I could grab chat messages and like show them to the
That would be
screen and read
dope.
them out loud and stuff. Just like highlight a chat message by like literally grabbing them. Yeah. I have a lot of plans for it that are just kind of like in theory mode, but I'm like, we have the technology to get this done. I just have to figure out how to put it together.
It'd be so cool.
Are you into VR?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. Especially Beat Saber.
Do you need
That's
people to
probably
play with?
the game.
It's Funky's next
We
question.
love Beat Saber. No.
We've been trying to find people to play VR with.
Yeah, we both have Oculus headsets. I guess Meta now, but I have a Quest 2, and she has the original Quest, and it's been fun. It's been fun jumping back into VR after because I've owned my headset for probably 2 years, and I didn't really use it too much. I originally got it. I was very excited about it, and then I kind of fell off of it. And then recently, it just kind of has kind of gotten a little bit more spark to go back in. And I got a new head strap and all this stuff. And stuff is not super expensive, which is interesting to me. You know, like if I would have tried to buy that stuff a couple years ago, it might have been. But like now, I don't know. It's like you pay like $40 for a nice head strap, and you can buy the cool battery accessories and all this. I go on for forever, but it's cool. I love it. It's dope. I just started playing Pistol Whip for the first time a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
and it's
that
really
game's
fun.
so fun.
That is a
Yeah.
workout.
Oh
Woo!
yeah.
My thighs
Oh,
were
yeah.
burning. I was like, this is so fun.
Yeah.
And the next day I was like, oh, what?
That was like
Yeah.
me after like the first time I played Super Hot VR.
Yeah.
Because I was just like crouching all over the place and didn't realize like I was giving my legs a workout. I'm like, oh damn. All right.
That's kind of originally why, like, this time around, I was kind of inspired to start playing VR again. Because we were thinking, like, okay, we even got, we need to be more active, but we got the Ring Fit Adventure for the Switch, and we were trying that out. And that's really fun too. But sort of jumping back into VR and being more mobile, and because we don't leave the house very often. So it's nice to be able to have something to like
Stuff is here.
do. Almost all the cool stuff is here. So like yeah. But it's just cool. Like I like VR. It's pretty neat.
Well, as we're kind of approaching the last sort of like 15 minutes of the episode, I wanted to do a couple of things. One, I wanted to ask if you have any advice for content creators of any kind. What would that advice be for either people who are currently content creators or new content creators? And again, that's any kind of content, not just streaming. That could be coding, any kind of creation. If you have any advice, what would you like to say?
That's a good question. Let me just put this here first. Wait, actually, we'll put it over there.
Okay.
All right.
So, in terms of, let's see, advice for content creation, I think the most important part would be to, focus on the people who are there and enjoying your content and stuff rather than like the people who aren't. And I say that like Um, because like firstly, another a very important part about streaming that will definitely make your life happier is if you have the view count turned on, just turn that off.
Yeah.
Don't look at it. Like I thought it would be useful for the longest time. And then like one stream I decided to just turn it off. And I never turned it back on after that. Cause it's just you don't realize how different you are on stream based off of like the view count until like you turn it off. And then it's just like you're just kind of free, right? Um
Right.
and then you can just like focus on the people who like actually like decide to like chat and stuff, and you're like not having to worry about like um like the people who come and go that just like kind of just want to lurk and vibe, um yeah. And yeah, I mean like yeah, it's important to focus on like the people who are there who are supporting you and everything, because like um I don't know. That's just like a thing that I've learned, like not just in content creation, but kind of just like in doing like work in general. I feel because like I used to be when I was like in like a previous job, I would like focus so much on like the work I wasn't getting done, and I'd feel terrible. Um, Even though, like, no one really had a problem with what the work I was doing, because like, I was doing a lot of great work, but I kept on focusing on, like, the fact that, like, I wasn't meeting my own expectations for some reason. But, give credit to yourself, like, you're doing a lot of great stuff. Um, like, think about, like, everything that you have done, um, because, like, yeah, it's a lot, and, doing great. Um, yeah.
So I know that and I feel exactly the same way. Turn the viewer count off because it doesn't help. But it to some it's sort of a divisive topic. I mean,
Mm,
we had recently we had Daily Dad on the Daily Dad. If you haven't seen him before, he's on Twitch and TikTok, big on TikTok. He says the opposite. He says, and he's I would say he's a different kind of person though. To some people like myself, I don't necessarily agree with leaving it on because I see the number and I get sad. For him, it's true. So at a very basic level, you just get sad. So for him, I think it's like a motivation thing. It's like, oh, if my numbers are low, I gotta pump it up a little bit. Which,
mm.
if you know the Daily Dad, he's very good at pumping it up.
He's like a sports coach, like that kind of like motivator.
Yeah,
so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm kind of indifferent.
I'm on the side that like I don't really want it on. It's just I don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, because like you don't like a low view count and a high view count doesn't necessarily reflect upon like what you're doing. It could just be that like it's just like people just like aren't on Twitch.
Yeah.
At that time. It's not necessarily because of you,
Right.
but like people get it in their head that it is necessarily because of how they're doing on their stream, and so like they think it's like a metric of how well they're doing
Right.
when it's not really. And then plus like you get into like a mindset of like kind of like micromanaging your stream like during stream, which just it doesn't feel great to do.
You should be doing the same thing regardless. Like you should just be doing
Yeah.
what you're planning on doing for stream regardless. If people are there, people aren't there. Like it's just it's for you. You do it for you.
And especially like I like seeing the view counts, like especially like when people like raid in, and then it's just like like it's high view count, and then you just see a huge drop off because like they were
Yep.
just kind of there for just the raid. It doesn't feel great. Um but like it's if you just have it off, then like you don't see that, you don't have to worry about that. And like really like if you want to review that kind of stuff, just like review it. You can like review after stream if you want.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Personally, I think like Mama Tamago recently like made a TikTok about like how you can like turn even the stream summary emails off. And
Yeah.
I did that, and I like that better to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't want to see how well I did or did not do. Like I just I'd rather just like be there in the moment for the people who chose to be there. Um yeah, and it's a lot more fun that way. And yeah, I think like the only reason you'd ever want to really think about that is when you're like potentially close to like pushing for partner, I guess. But and that's the whole other thing about like how that's difficult to
Yeah.
mess around with. Um yeah. Uh
Some people are very metrics focused, and that's sort of what drives them to do what they do.
Yeah, I mean, I get
I'm
it if
not.
you want to really like push for becoming big really quickly.
Sure.
But like the reality is like as long as you kind of consistently do content and like I mean like at least like are engaging with your audience and stuff, you'll still grow. Um it might not necessarily be like quick growth or whatever, but like, you know, it's I don't know, it's more manageable, I guess. But like I can see where like people will want to like really do that, like think about that a lot, especially if they want to like pursue streaming full time.
Yeah.
Um, which it's really difficult to do. Like you really gotta like
Yes.
get high up there, and that's a whole difficult grind.
But
Just
I
Um,
have
think
fun and enjoy
yeah,
yourself.
I
for
think that's
sure.
good advice for anybody doing any kind of hobby or
Yeah.
thing that you enjoy is like just focus on what you've accomplished so far and not like where you want to be. Like just be happy about sort of where you're at. And I think
I
that
think
that's really
it,
good advice for
yeah, I think it's good to
everybody.
think about. I think it's great to think about where you want to be, but don't
Yeah,
let it get you down if you're not at that level, or
It's a
you're not
marathon, not
meeting
a
your
sprint.
expectations or whatever. Yeah, it's a marathon, man. Just don't wear yourself out.
yeah, yeah. I mean, even if like you don't get there, like you've still done so much.
Right.
Like it's important to like like think about that um like give yourself the space to like think about like everything you have done because like it's streaming. There's so much that goes into streaming. Like anyone who like actually wants to like pursue it, like there's a lot that you learn. And it's quite a lot. And so um take pride in that, in everything that you have accomplished.
Well, some people make it look easy. Some people make streaming look like it's super easy, and that's why everybody does it. But I'm actually glad that a lot of people do it in some ways. Otherwise, I wouldn't have all the friends I do. Like all of the people that we've kind of met along the way.
Mhm.
If they weren't making content, we wouldn't have met them, you know what I mean? Like that's just okay. All right, you're just building roads.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Not fair.
Ah,
It didn't matter if I started out the game stealing. It's made no difference. She's gonna stomp us again, even though we're not gonna finish this game. She's still gonna win. I also want to give you some time to not only shout yourself out, but also if you have any kind of upcoming projects you're working on, any kind of events, fundraisers, anything like that that you want to share to let people know. Now's your time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, like yeah, you can find all my links at zaytri.com. where you can see, links to chat bubbles, links to all my socials, links to like, my Twitch channel where I stream sometimes. I kind of stream like once a month, kind of random occasion. So, I'll feel lucky if you can find a stream of mine. Used to be more consistent about it. Been difficult having a full-time job. Um, I'm impressed by anyone who keeps a streaming schedule while having a full-time job. That's so much. Um, but yeah, and then like I'm also working on, Slime Chat is, upcoming email service project that I'm working on. I'm also thinking about making something called Streamer Garden, which will basically be just like a community place for streamers to kind of share um their tools and tricks for streaming and kind of like build upon that and share and with all that. Um I want to do it with forums. I was gonna like build a forum site for that, but then I realized Discord has forums in beta, so I think I'll just wait until that is like fully rolled out and just like make a Discord server with just like forums to do that. Um yeah, I think that's all the stuff I'm working on.
Only all these
Um
really cool projects.
Yeah, no big deal.
Just these little huge projects that could be really helpful for a lot of people.
Yeah,
So
that's
as
not
a
a big deal.
reminder, folks, all if not most of what Zaytri does for the community is she's doing for free out of the kindness of her heart. So if you want to give back, again, check out the links that are in chat right now. That's zaytri.com. I'm going to say it wrong again. Kofi, because there's no fee.
Kofi.
There you go.
It's like I'm going to write with my right hand. Go to her Kofi and feel free to donate and show some support and love for somebody who does a lot for the community for free and provides all these really, really cool resources. And we want her to stick around and to keep making really cool resources because they're awesome. And Zaytri, I really appreciate you being on the show today and spending time with us and hanging out. It's been really fun and it's been really cool to interview you and talk to you and be able to thank you personally for what you've done for the community. So I want to say thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for bringing me on. It's been a really fun time talking here. And I love how like everything was like set up like all the documentation and stuff was set up beforehand, like I could read, so that like it really helped me like feel like comfortable about like the expectations going into this and stuff. It was really cool. So thank you for setting all that up.
Yes, we all appreciate you, and I'm glad that you liked the setup. And for those currently listening, if you liked this podcast, this episode, this stream, whatever platform you're watching it on or listening it to, feel free to drop me a nice like, follow, subscribe, what have you. It does help us as well. And yeah, we're going to wrap this up, I think, just to be respectful of everybody's time. Now that we've hit that 2-hour mark, I'm putting on my teacher voice right now. I just noticed, which is really cool when that turns on accidentally. So yeah, just flip the switch on that. If I look at the scores right now, shocker, Zaytri is definitely going to win this one. So she's won both. So congratulations for winning both games.
Definitely deserving of a trophy.
And the last thing that we need to do here is, Zaytri, not to put you on the spot, but is there anybody live on Twitch that you would like us to raid out to? We like to check out new folks.
Let me see. Let's see who I'm following. Let's see.
Anybody but Mama Tamago. She's live right now. Right.
What? She was in chat and then she went, oh.
No, she's not. I don't think she's live. I was just making a funny. I don't think she's live.
Okay.
I'm just being a standard.
I think mozzarella would be a great choice.
Alrighty. Let's see. Could you drop it in the Twitch chat or?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let me grab that link. There we go.
I will
Yeah.
grab that. Thank you very much. And thank you everybody for coming and hanging out with us this afternoon/evening. And we will see you later. I will be not doing cult things later tonight. That's not what I'm gonna do.
Nothing cult related.
Nothing cult related is happening later tonight. Who knows? But Zaytri, thank you so much again. We'll be in the Discord with you in a second, and I'm gonna go ahead and flip us over to the credit rolls.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.